Hey folks, welcome back. So last week we started working on a couple of our replacement window frames for up here in the Millhouse, because right now all we've got is a little bit of house wrap covering up our little openings there. So it's about time that we get some actual windows in there. Now the window frames that we are using are actually reclaimed out of the house here on the farm, and unfortunately a couple of them just were not quite in good enough shape to reuse, so we're making some replacements for those. Now last week we did get one of them very nearly done, and what we still need to do on this is we need to cut a groove along the inside here, and that is what the window pane will set into. That way it's not sticking out on the outside of the frame. And then also this actually does not have any nails or anything in it yet either, so actually everything here is just a friction fit with the joints, so it's a pretty tight fit on there right now, which I think is probably a good thing. That way it's holding together just on its own instead of having to be held with the nails so much. So we need one more like this, and I think we'll go ahead and build the other one, get it together, and then we'll work on cutting in the groove on the inside here. I know that this week is going to be a very short week. I think we'll have today and maybe one other day to work on this, so I'm not sure how much of this will actually get done. Got our last batch of meat chickens that we'll be processing here at the end of this week, so that's kind of cutting into our time out here to work on some of this stuff. So I think I ran my mouth enough here at the beginning of the video, so let's get to work on trying to make another one of these things. Alright, well we just took a quick little break here. As I was running through one of the boards here, it sounded like it was running just a little bit different. I think the motor was getting a bit warm. The motor, you wouldn't want it any smaller for what we're doing here. And I think having it running for, you know, a little while continuously there might have gotten just a little bit on the warm side. So we just took a few minute break, let that cool down a little bit, fire the generator back up, and see if this thing's running a little bit better now. All right, well, we almost have the kind of the outer portion of our second frame done. Now, I have some good news and some not so good news. The not so good news is that I cut one of the side pieces the wrong length. The good news is that I cut it too long. So, just take off a little bit off the end there, bring that notch down a little bit further, and we'll be good to go. Alright folks, so today is our, second day, and it's also our last day for this week. And for today, I am hoping that we can at least get in our centerpiece that goes in this window frame. You can kind of see it over in this one. So we need to get that in here. And then at that point, what we'll need to do is we got to cut in the little grooves for the windows to sit in. We got to permanently hook this stuff together with some nails, probably a little glue in there as well, and then of course paint them after that, which we have to do with all of the window frames, not just these new ones that we've made. Now, before we work on that, I have been keeping my eye on eBay for a little while now, and I've been watching for a replacement part for the table saw, because as you recall, we kind of did a little bit of a MacGyver repair on the one part in there with some JB Weld, and it's been working. It works fine, but I figured, if I could get an actual replacement part for that, it would probably be a little bit better. And as it just so happens, one of these finally came up. What are the odds of that for like an 80-year-old table saw? But one of them came up. I got it. It just came in yesterday. So we're going to go ahead and switch this out. Hopefully this fits right, because this was actually off from a different model, but the numbers matched up, so I think we're good. But we'll find out here in just a second. Alright, well, we got this thing all put together. We got our brand new part in there, so we don't have to worry about the epoxy giving out on the other one. Got the blade all lined up and parallel with the top of the table saw here, so that's good to go. So now we are ready to make the centerpiece for our window frame that's over here. Well, we got this other one together. Now, I still need to do a little bit of work in the joints here on the bottom, touch those up a little bit, get them fitting just a bit better together, but for the most part it's together. It's just a little bit of fiddle around with it kind of work. But anyways, I think most of the work as far as getting these things just together and having them, you know, the right dimensions and all that kind of stuff, that's all done. We just got to cut the little grooves for the panes to sit into, and then just do the final hooking everything together. But that is gonna have to wait till next week, because I gotta head out of here today and I got a bunch of stuff to work on over the next couple days, and of course part of that is processing chickens, last group of the year, which is, it's always kind of nice, you know, to have a little bit of break over the winter from doing that. But then you get to spring and I'm ready to start doing them again. So hopefully next week we'll get back to working on these things again. Maybe get them the rest of the way finished up and have them ready to paint. I don't know. Might even get around to painting. Who knows? I guess we'll find out next week. So as always, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you next time.